Hey everyone, it is Elsa932 on YouTube. Thank you so much for joining me for episode 5 of the Laterdaters. Please take a little bit of a moment to like the video, share it with a friend, leave a comment below. Let me know you've been by, what do you think of the show? I'm enjoying it, and I'm hoping you enjoy my recap, review, and commentary. So let's get into it. I'm trying to keep these videos down to 15 minutes. So, let me grab my notes. We start with Suzanne and Avery's second date. She says things are moving along too quickly for her with Avery, so she wants to pump the brakes. Okay? Logan visits her. She talks about Frank, and Frank's a young kid. He is attractive, but she is concerned with him being, I believe it was 63, having a young kid. Avery, she loves his personality, but he has a 14-year-old Alabama fan, and he left an Alabama shirt at her house, and they tossed it off the deck. I am like, y'all are taking this rivalry all the way to the relationship, but they're having fun with it. She said they're all rejects at 60, and Logan is like, you're not a reject. You are a widow. That is different. But, Suzanne says even widows like her have baggage. So one of the things I want to note is that when Suzanne goes to bed, all the dogs are taken up one side. Suzanne, you're going to have to make room for a gentleman caller. Whoever you decide to be with, you're going to have to make room for him. And the dog's going to have to go into a doggy bed. I'm not telling you how to run your household. I'm just telling you the dogs need to make room for the new man in your life. Okay? So she does send Avery a text to tell him they need to slow things down a bit. Whew, I wonder how Avery feels. But what is going on? We have Frank and we have Avery, these men in their 60s with teenage children. I'd like to explore that sometime. They're in their 60s. So in their 40s, they had kids. So the mothers, as Suzanne said, has to be younger women. Next up is Nate. He said it is tiring because this is his 4th blind date. The producer asked, why is he and the ex that's helping him not together? What we all want to know. So they said they considered it, but since they gotten older, they learned that they're just not compatible. Okay. Is that what we're going with? Okay. So Nate said they're like a brother and sister because they get on each other's nerves. And to a new person, that's not how it's going to look. That's not how it looked to us, maybe the producers. That's not how it looked. It looked like y'all have this little banter back and forth that can be seen as flirtatious depending on what it is and who's doing the observing. So she said she noticed that he was smiling a lot about his last date, and he says he prefers an empty nester. You're not going to get everything you want, Nate. You're not going to get everything you want, but I understand your preference. You're an empty nester, so you need someone who's an empty nester. Like I said before, I'm going to go through the entire episode with that one person and go from person to person rather than hopping around to people. So Nate has a pool date. He said he has to be dressed down but still look snazzy. His ex is helping him pick out his clothes. Nate, I done told you about that. Do not have her pick out your clothes, because the last time if you listened to her, you would not have looked so good with your date with Lisa. I'm just saying. Nate, come on now. So his date is with Michelle. She is 55, divorced twice, 8 years single. She has 3 kids, and she's an actress. He was so captivated by Michelle when she came in, and she was dressed in a beautiful gown. He was dressed poolside, which was dressing down. And I was like, Nate, if you did not listen and you dressed the way you wanted to, you would have looked real good next to Michelle. That's all I'm saying. Ooh. So he was so captivated he forgot the flowers in the lobby, had to go back. He says he doesn't mind that she drinks, even though he does not. And he feels like he has not met his match when asked why is he still single. Michelle said she felt overdressed since he was in sneakers and dressed down. I'm like, girl, you have not seen him dress. This is dressed down Nate. No, Michelle. Wait till you see dressed up Nate. This Nate dress is a product of what his ex picked out. Don't judge him. Nate, I told you not to let your ex pick your outfit. So Michelle says he's a nice guy. She liked his brown skin and bald head. And they bonded on the fact that both are Army vets, which I thought was interesting. He does not eat guacamole. And I'm like, what, Nate? Nate. And in all seriousness, guacamole or something in that sphere may be good for you and good for your body and good for your healing journey. So they do talk about football. Nate is a Falcons fan and Michelle is a Saints fan. So he says she's an intelligent fireball. Michelle asked, can he dance? And he said he could do a little step. He tells her of his injuries in a joking way and said if he dips down low, it may stay dipped. He asked her for a selfie, and would she go on a second date? He is editing the photo and asking about the drinks in the background. So while she's like, "Oh, Leah, let's take a selfie, each in our respective, pool chairs," he's like, "What about the drinks? Everything around here? What are we doing?" And I'm like, "Oh, golly, Nate, just relax, just relax. It's just a photo. It's chill. You had drinks with her. You had the food. Don't relax." So the producer asked Michelle about the potential for romance, and she says it's too soon to tell, but she will date him again. Nate said this was the most fun date he had, and it's the best date. Then we move on to Lori. She talks to her daughter about her date with Ty. She tells about his foot fetish, which Lori is okay with. And, she said there's not supposed to be a white t-shirt under your suits anymore. That's out of style. And she won't chase a man. He's a hunter by nature. He won't have to come hunt her. So she's got the same mindset as a niece. And they're basically in the same category. Logan does visit. She talks about the date with Ty and says, Lori said it fizzled. She's not trying to build or change a man, as you should not. And, Logan asks, is she pushing him away for small reasons just because he got the white shirt on? So Lori is still on this Felton crush. She feels that Felton has friend zoned her and she won't ask him out. Let him be the man and ask her. Okay. Logan is there with her kids and says, what is getting in your mom's way? And the son said she doesn't give people a chance. The daughter says men who date her won't ask because of her upfront personality. So what they did here was, Lori was always interrupting. Logan said, let's put a timer. Let's see how long Lori can stay silent. And after the 5-minute timer, she done interrupted them twice. Lori, you're not in professional mode right now. You're in mommy home mode. You could just let it breathe. Let the kids speak. You're trying to learn here so you can do better. So the son says he doesn't like her interrupting him and talking on his behalf. And the daughter said she's had to find her voice in college, because her mom was always talking for her. Logan said folks are not attracted to that energy, that very upfront, I'm talking for you, interrupting you energy. Lori says she finds it hard to turn down her personality. Her brain just can't sit still. Logan says, you need to feel home for a man. You're like a busy airport, one in and out, rapid fire questions. So Lori said the divorce really hurt her. And Lori said, Felton and her had a little bit of flirty text. So Logan is like, yeah, it seems flirty, but you need to figure out what this is. So Lori does contact Felton. And while she's laying in the bed and the knee is up, I was like, Lori, it is not one of those calls. She's like, on the phone. Hey, Felton. I was like, girl. So she does invite him to her birthday party. And he humming and humming about coming. I'm like, if you don't want to come to my party, don't come. Don't come. Don't fuss yourself. We move on to Pam. Pam says her last date is not making the time. He is about himself. So she has a date with Dwight. Dwight is 70, never married, one child, He is a tour director and event planner. So Pam said he's a gentleman. He seems nice. He got her flowers in a vase. And I have to tell you, Dwight, I do appreciate that. I love flowers, but going above and beyond are flowers in a vase. Now, yes, those flowers do look a little scant. They look a little thin. If we're comparing, and we shouldn't compare to the flowers that Nate is getting, they are a little thin. But what Dwight did was Dwight put in the extra effort of buying one that either came with a vase or getting a vase. I don't care where the vase came from, because that is a convenient way of her displaying it at her home without having the trouble of having to go find one. To me, that's the extra touch. But then Pam starts talking a lot. Oh, Pam starts talking a lot. Dwight says he doesn't have a type or a shopping list. He will experience a person for who they are. He is from New York City. Yay! He talks about being tossed out when he was 18 years old, and she was too. Remember, Pam told us earlier that she was basically disowned by her family. So he marvels at people who are in their 30s now living at home. He owns his own city tour business. I love this. He owns those buses that give people a tour around Atlanta. And Pam said, I want to work for you. So it was like she wants to work for him. Pam, this is not a job interview, this is a date. So Dwight does say he likes the ideas they've shared together and expanding his business. I'm like, Dwight, this is not, an investor or expanding the business type meeting. This is a date. She is just saying whatever comes out her mouth and said, dang, my spanks are snug. She does ask for his number, and she kept leaning into it, but I'm like, are you looking for a kiss, Pam? Because you keep leaning in and extending your neck like you're looking for a kiss. So Anise has her daughter rate potential dates, or actually the producers give it to the daughter and said, Anise, you can't look. Her daughter picks Willie. Willie is 55, divorced twice, 7 years single, 5 kids, a government canine specialist. When Anise walks in and sees Willie, she just oohing and eyeing, and they are both flirting with their eyes and liking what they see. And that is the end of episode 5. Thank you so much for joining me. Please join me on the next one, which is coming up shortly. Let's see how Anise dates her daughter's pick. See you on the next one. Thank you for watching. Please like, share, and subscribe to the channel.